What's going on, everybody? It's Sean from the fightforfreedom.info. I'm your host as usual. Today I'm here with Ed. Ed, don't say anything. You're still muted. Ed really wants to... Well, I'll let him speak. Hi, Ed.
Hey, Sean.
You're off mute now. So...
I forgot. What do I want to do?
I was going to put words in your mouth, but then I decided not to.
All right. So this week I decided what you're okay because it's the Sean show.
This ain't the Sean show.
I'm just playing.
Son
The
of a
dictator
bitch.
show. Just
Oh,
kidding
Lord.
again. Well, today we're going to talk about the year anniversary of Michael Brown's death from August 9th. We have some stats.
Didn't he get killed by George Zimmerman?
By who?
George Zimmerman. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
My guess is he was killed by a white police officer. That's my guess. All right,
That's a pretty educated guess right there.
So I figured we'd get into that and, to sum it off, I could also talk about how the Oath Keepers are down there, how the media is playing into it.
Yeah.
For example, I got into a conversation with Brian, who's not here today.
My best friend, Brian?
Yeah, our best friend Brian.
Whoa.
And so, we're just how he's reading different articles than what I'm reading,
Yeah.
And it's just funny how depends on which type of media you listen to.
You
If
get a
it's
certain
left,
spin.
right, yeah.
You'll get a
And
certain
it's like-
spin on it.
Yeah. It's like positive and negative.
Right.
That's how different
Oh,
the
yeah.
stories are. So anyway, I'll kick into it, dude, with the year of it's been August 9th, 2014 is when Michael Brown was killed by a police officer. So from
Do you
that
have
day,
the name of that police officer?
What's that?
Do you have the name of that police officer?
No, it was a year ago. What I want to get into
Doesn't matter. He was a white cop.
what I was going to get into is how many deaths. I have stats here. Since August 9th, 2014 to August 9th, 2015, we've had 1,083 Americans killed by police. That's so the year calendar, over 1,000 deaths. This article is pretty cool right here because it breaks down the cities.
Where's the article from?
Actually, this is Vice News. They compiled a bunch of numbers and they broke down by state.
Do we know how many cops got killed in the past year?
No, they didn't have that information. I doubt.
Don't you think that kind of information's actually important to see how many civilians get killed compared to how many cops get killed? in a
I
given
do,
year?
especially if you're going to talk about, we put our life on the line.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not arguing that they don't in
I
certain
would.
forms, but
I would. Anyway.
but I would like to see numbers to it.
Yeah, I would like to see how many
Yeah.
police officers compared to civilians that get killed, because all these people say is, well, they're the ones, like you said, putting their life on the line, stopping bullets and stopping criminals. Well, define crime and define laws.
The Michael Brown, the death of Michael Brown triggered the rally going of the Black Lives Matters movement, and they're down there now protesting. They've been protesting off and on pretty much all year.
Didn't they take over like a Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, from what I hear, I was reading that, and Bernie kind of let him too. He didn't fight him.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. I give him credit. I get anybody credit for that because at least you're not.
I wouldn't, man. If I paid to speak, and a bunch of these people.
Yeah, but
start
I give him
jumping
credit
up-
because usually a guy like that would be scared, running, want the cops or whatever. He's like, nah, give them the mic. It's their mic. I'm fine with it. I'll listen.
Yeah, I don't know if I give him credit.
So anyway, so you trigger, it really triggered a lot of eyes. A lot of eyes are opening to the violence that are going on by the enforcers, by the police. To have over 1,000 deaths by cops, that's a lot, and that's unarmed deaths, by the way.
Ooh, as in wait, you're saying as in the civilian had no weapon on
Yeah,
them.
no weapons. So
pretty much murders.
So I got here too. It breaks it down by race. Out of that 1,083, you had 499 of them dead. That white innocent civilians. Well, I don't know innocent, but white unarmed civilians.
Oh my God.
Died. 499. 273 black civilians.
So what are they crying about?
161 Hispanics. Well, if you do the population per black people are still 3 times likely to be shot and killed by a police officer than a white guy. Because you have a lot more white people in this country than black people.
Double?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shocking.
When they talk about minorities, they lump them all in, you know?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
When like a lot of people thinking, oh, minorities are taking over. They thinking blacks. No,
Right, no,
not
We're
even
talking
close.
Latinos.
Yeah,
even
that's
Asians,
everybody.
Like Asians
are in there.
anybody
Yep.
who's not
that's
Caucasian.
What they mean by when you hear minorities are taking over the population, meaning
Right.
like the white people in America
Right.
will be the minority.
That's
It's
pretty
as a
racist.
whole.
It's a pretty racist statement to be like, the minorities are taking over. You're basically saying that the whites are losing.
Yeah, against all other colors.
Right.
So it's white versus everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, you sick bastard?
And
Am I right? Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right. And I wanted to bring this up because we kind of gotten into this is off topic real quick. We got into like this whole white privilege debate. And I wanted to, since you brought that up,
No
I was
such thing.
thinking all of our years, right? Like any government paperwork you fill out. Why do they always want to ask what your race is? And then if you ever notice,
black
what are
privilege.
the races?
They want to know, for
They
black
just want to make sure they're
privilege.
not going to take over.
The census.
But I mean, they clearly need to know that stat for a reason, right? And
Yeah, but I would argue, like there's certain jobs when they ask you these things, and well, if you're black, you're more likely to get the job because they need to hire more blacks because the government.
yeah, but
is saying,
I'm talking about schools, like everything.
Same thing
I
with school,
did
too.
In,
Same thing with
public
school.
Why don't they ask for if
Getting
you're
like,
Irish or Italian or any of that?
They don't care about that. They care about
No,
your
they
skin
don't.
color. Those racist pricks.
Yeah, it's black, white, or other.
Yeah.
My whole life, I always
Really?
checked other. Yeah, when I was a kid,
No,
it was.
no. I mean, when I was a kid, and even when as I got older, they have a slew of different types.
Choices, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Caucasian, Alaskan, Native American, African American, Indian, Asian. I mean, like I'm talking
They
like
broke it
15.
down, alright.
And yeah, I always checked other.
Yeah, I always click other. Always have. All right, so anyway,
Racist
let's get
bastard.
back on topic.
Go on.
So Michael Brown's death. They also broke it down to which cities target. New Hampshire has 2. So
2 deaths.
yeah, 2 deaths in the last year.
What were they? White people?
If it's New Hampshire, probably.
Now I'm offended.
California had 176. You don't want to go to California. Florida had 80. Texas had
Wait a minute. Does this
110.
tell you
Yeah, it breaks it down.
the color of the person?
Oh no, not the total amount in the states. It doesn't break down the color per state. It's just the color as a whole, and then they break down how many deaths in a state.
Do you think this kind of information should be shown?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
how much
well,
information?
I mean,
First
you
of all, how
can't-
much information do you need
Wait
to
a
know that?
Because you can't say, well, don't
These
go to
guys are-
California because if you're a black dude and all those Californians that got killed were white, I'm going to go to California if I'm black.
All right, yeah.
Safe.
You know what? We keep bringing up race, but when you have a number like 1,083. And we're talking about police brutality and the corruption and force that affects all of us. That's a high number, no matter what the race is.
So the true thing would be humans being
yeah, we
killed.
all do. It's not just Black Lives Matter. All lives matter.
That's right, and that's what
But
needs to be said.
due to American history and due to the way the media plays it, you had the media constantly only airs when an unarmed black person is shot and killed.
Yeah.
And then with American history, I could understand why people fall into the race issue, because it's not like I'm sure some of those killings were racially motivated. I'm sure race played a part in it. I have a saying, Sean. I'm like, if you want to become a police officer, well, first of all, don't. But but if you're gonna be a police officer, do me a favor. Do not become a police officer in an ethnic group. If your only exposure to black culture is through TV and Fox TV, then do yourself a favor, do the black community a favor, and do not be a police officer there, because you do not know the people. There's a difference between race and cultures. A lot of people don't know cultures, and
That's for sure.
you know, you're just in a bad situation.
All right, so continue with your
So
stats.
that's my
'cause then
speech for race.
We got to start talking about human beings as a whole being killed unjustifiably by the state, capital
Yeah.
S. So go on. Let's finish up these so that the people know.
So this is the one thing I was reading in an article, because they were saying since the awareness, since the Michael Brown death a year ago, brought a lot of awareness to, and you know, they're making change for the better. Like police now, some departments are making them wear body cameras.
Yeah, they'll shut them off in a
this and
minute,
that.
though.
But it's like,
They'll be like, oh, I forgot to turn it on.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I hate the fact that they're saying that's making progress. You know, that's no,
No, it's not.
it's not.
You make progress when you stop fucking killing people without guns. You know?
Yeah, stop extorting people.
Right.
Period.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's real progress, but we can't expect the government to do something like that.
Oh, this is a good one, Sean. So out of that 1,083, this one you'll like. This is called the police officers' outcomes numbers. So 756 are still being investigated out of those deaths, okay? There's just still open
How many?
cases. 756 out of the 1,083 are still being investigated. 257 are ruled accidents and justified.
Oh, okay, cool.
41 are unknown outcomes. 18 were charged.
All right, hang on.
with
Time out.
crime.
We gotta break this down. So you're saying over 700 of these cases are still open, you said?
They're still being investigated.
All right, so they're still being investigated. How many were now? Is an accident considered justifiable? No, right? If I hit somebody in my car, that's not justified. It's not like, ooh, it was by an accident, so I'm gonna still keep my job and keep my no. You killed somebody, you're gonna, you know, you're paying something, whether it's either in money to the grieving family or, you know, jail time because you murdered somebody. Whatever the case is, you have
Well,
to.
the 756, there is no outcome yet. It's just being investigated.
No, I know, but you're saying
But
that-
257 of them, Sean, were ruled an accident and justified.
Right, and that justified
number, yeah.
word, that word justified, what does that mean? Does that mean nothing's going to happen to you? You get to keep your job?
Yeah.
You get to continue with what you're doing even though you took away someone's life? When if you or I do that, we're not going to have a good life going on, you know, even if it's by accident.
You know, I'm going to tell a quick story on an article I read. I was telling you about it. This is just a quick story, just to give people an idea of how can I word it? This is just how the justice system operates as far as the police. Okay, so I'm reading a story. It's written by the victim. So he's an Iraq veteran. He did 2 tours
This
in
is
Iraq.
a true story?
Yes, this is a true story.
Where's it from?
You know what, Sean? I read it 2 weeks ago.
You don't remember?
No,
You
I
don't
don't
remember the
remember
source?
where. I know. I wish I had the source so people could look it up themselves. But,
All right, go on.
So
Well, you were telling me about this,
Yeah, I
right,
did tell
yeah.
you about it. So he did 2 tours, and so he's back. He's a civilian now. He got a job. He's renting an apartment in an apartment building. He has a few leaks, so the landlord said he could stay in the apartment down below. All right, so it's over the weekend. He goes out. He's hanging out. He's drinking. He comes back early, you know, real late. So he goes into his apartment, crashes right on the bed, knocks out. Around 8:30 in the morning, he's woken up to a gang of cops.
I like that word, gang.
Yeah, because he said it was like 4 or 5 of them right in his bedroom. They kicked in the door right in his bedroom, guns pointed at him. And in the article, he's writing, "I've been here before, except I was on the other side." This is what he was trained for
In the Middle East.
doing house raids
Right.
to find insurgents. So he's like, from me being on this, I know the training. He said, so I see all the guns are pointed at my head. So knowing the training, I know any little sudden move, these guys are trained to, if anything, shoot to kill. Shoot to kill. So he's like, I'm not moving, hesitating, anything. Guy jumps on his back, handcuffs him, throws him at the foot of the bed. He's asking what's going on. They're telling him to shut up. They're running through his house. All right. Now, no matter what they're called in for, now I'm going to stop the story for a second, because no matter what they're called for, or whatever reason they have to go in there, the minute they have a reason, of course they search your house, because if they happen to find marijuana, or if you happen to have even a registered rifle but you tampered with, or you happen to have, in New York, you can't have AR-15, 30-round AR-15 magazines, you know? So even if you have that, whatever, they will pin it on you. They will bust you for that, all right? So that's one of the reasons why you never let them in your house, and one of the reasons why they were going through his house. All right, so back to the story. Hour goes by, they're running through, ransacking his house. So finally they go to the edge of the bed. They let him know, your neighbor across the hallway said that this door was open a crack and nobody had lived here, and she was calling in for fear of a squatter being in there. So the guy dropped. They let the police officers do whatever they had to do. They let him go. He left. The police officers left. He didn't leave it at that. He went down to the police station, wanted to talk to whoever's in charge, because it just didn't feel right to him. Being back in America, he just felt like he was treated like a possible terrorist. So he goes to the police station, and he explains what happened. He's like, I don't understand why you guys didn't do your due diligence. Why didn't you had a phone call? So why didn't you look into it first? You work for civilians. All of us pays your bills. To treat anybody, whether it's a criminal or not, to treat us like we're terrorists or just, like we don't belong here is wrong. He's like, so why didn't you call the landlord to see if there was a squatter in there? He's like, because what you do is when you call what you do is you put your police officers in a bad situation by pointing guns at me. I'm in a bad situation. Accidents can happen, and they do happen. And the reason why I'm bringing this story is because the 257 that are justified might have been a situation like that, right? The cop has a gun pointed at his head because he was called to this house. It was a sudden move. Whatever happened, he reacted in the safety of his own life. And an innocent person's killed, but it could be justified, right? So the police officer, the sheriff goes, well, when we get a phone call like that, time is of the essence. We need to react real quick because, a suspect could be long and gone by then. So he's like, okay, so when the police officers went into the building, why didn't they talk to the head of the security first? Same answer. Time is of the essence. We got to get the suspect because he'd be gone. And he's like, well, you didn't even know it was a suspect because you didn't even look into it. You didn't do your job. And, I wonder if people even get the why I'm bringing up this story.
Well, people, libertarians, anarchists, voluntarists will.
Constitutionalists, too, even though I'm against them.
Well, they will understand it,
yeah, they will.
But only to a certain extent.
As long as they went with the Constitution.
Well, as long as it fits their agenda. So if they see a bunch of people smoking some pot, they might be like, yo, I'm going to call the cops. They're going to SWAT team these motherfuckers.
Yeah. Or they'll hit them in the back of the head with the butt of the rifle.
Right. But, I mean, the reason is when people, because this story ended up turning out fairly safe, right? This veteran.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of the times it doesn't. You heard about that little baby that got, like, his head or mouth burned because the SWAT team threw in the
flash
flashbang?
grenade, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you seen pictures of that baby?
I did, and it was fucked up. So, a lot of the times these stories don't turn out this nice, where it's like, okay, well, there was a mistake. Whoops, what are you going to do? And those 200 people that are considered justifiable accidents, those are the people that, are the whoops, what are you going to do?
You're raiding another American citizen. Whether they committed a crime, whatever. You're raiding their house. Like they're like you're the military, like it's war. That's ridiculous. It's overkill.
It is. All right. So what are the rest of the?
But then again, it makes a lot of money.
Oh, tons.
All right, so you had 41 of them were unknown outcomes.
The fuck does that mean?
I have no idea. It's just like thrown up in the air. Actually, 18 police officers were charged with a crime. Okay. And 4 are indicted. Only 4. That's it.
Is anybody surprised?
It's
But we still got to wait for the other, what would you say, 700 that are still up in the air?
Oh yeah, that's still being investigated.
Right.
Yeah, 700 and
So that those
56.
those 4 guys who got indicted are, it might turn to like 8.
Yeah.
You're not going to see 100 cops, or the 200 justified accidents. You're not going to see any of these guys get indicted or get charged with a crime or whatever. It's fucked up, man. And these statists, they're just like, well, call a crackhead. And it's like, that's not the issue that we're having. The problem is the way the police, everybody wants protection. You know what I mean? Unless you feel like you can protect yourself. That's fine too. But the majority of Americans want to feel safe, right? So my problem is not with like, well, fuck police. My problem is the way they handle their business and especially the way that they're paid. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So we have these guys. Now, out of the 200 that were justifiable accidents, if it was a private, like the community, which it wouldn't be considered a town, but let's say the community hired a policing, quote-unquote, service.
Peacekeepers.
Right. And one of these guys did a justifiable accident. You still wouldn't have a job. You'd still be fired because you killed somebody. They're dead. They're not coming back. So literally, you just killed one of your customers, which means you're just costing the company that's hiring you to be a police officer money, which means you're going to be fired. It's that simple.
Yeah, I was watching a video. I think it was in the country of like Norway or something like that. It was out in Europe, and so police officers are responding to a phone call. So they come out to the yard and they see the guy attack the police officer with like these hedge clippers. Now, in this country, they would have just pulled out the gun, shot, and killed you because your life is threatening. Over there, they're trained. They're trained a few different ways. They're trained on how to talk down a situation. They're trained on how to, self-defense, not having to use a gun unless it's truly necessary. So if a guy's coming at him with hedge clippers, he knows how to defend himself to, not kill this other person who might be mentally disturbed or whatever, And so what he did is during his training, he put a move on and disarmed the guy, gave him a gut shot, and the guy was down on the ground, and everybody lived. Now they'll figure out the situation. But in this country, it's like,
it's you kill.
You're
kill
coming
first.
at me.
You shoot
boom,
first,
shoot,
right?
You
I
know?
mean, even like a taser gun, right? So just shoot the taser gun at the guy to, incapacitate him, and then work on it. But no, with us, it's pull that gun out, shoot the guy, shoot first, ask questions later. This is fucking backwards caveman thinking.
Yeah, you have more accountability. Like if a U.S. soldier was to kill a civilian, they're held to a lot higher standard, and usually they do get in trouble for that a lot faster than like a police officer would by shooting their own civilian. So here's some more numbers, Sean.
This is still
broke
from Vice,
down
right?
by the age and sex.
Yo, this is still from Vice.
Yeah, this is all Vice. They compiled crazy numbers, for this
we got to cross
year
check this
anniversary.
though.
Yeah, but
So make-
I'm
make-
just
make
gonna
sure-
play off of their
Yeah.
numbers.
We got to make sure we're not spewing
So
illegitimate.
So they broke it down for male and female. So out of the 1,083, 1,026 of them were males and 57 were females.
Motherfucker.
Okay? Now, if I had a little bit more time, I would have started looking up stats like how many women put in a report that a police officer, to get out of a ticket made him suck their dick or something, because I'm sure those numbers are reversed for like
Oh,
you know, with sexual harassment. It'll be out of like 1,000 sexual harassments, 4 will be male.
Yeah.
996 would be females.
That's fucked up.
So, yeah. So the big, here it is, folks. Okay, anybody and everybody has to be careful from the police, possibly killing you. Your odds of dying from a police officer is a lot higher than you dying from than being killed by a terrorist. Okay, so be very careful.
Or a lightning,
black
or
people,
a lightning strike.
Yeah, white people don't get it wrong. They're still dropping you guys like flies. Black people, yeah, you're still 3 times more likely to get killed by a police officer and a white guy, but it's still disturbing numbers across the board for everybody.
Absolutely.
Males, if you're a guy, you got to be careful. Period. So those are the warnings I'm bringing out.
Well, here's the bottom line, because then we got to go because we're pushing 30 minutes and we have a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff. We're going camping.
Yeah, we are going camping.
So, and we wanted to get this podcast out and just speak about police accountability and how important it is. Now, I mean, you know Cop Block, right?
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they're just doing their jobs. That's very dangerous talk because you only say those kinds of things when it comes to our guys, because our guys are blessed by God. When it comes to soldiers who worked for, like, the Third Reich, even though they were just doing their jobs, you dismiss them. You call them savages. You call them bad people. But they were just doing their jobs. So this just doing your jobs quote doesn't fly, and it can't fly. It's a dangerous.
It's an excuse,
Right, and it's so dangerous that at some point, like, it might be your kid, it might be your father, it might be your mother, your brother, your sister, who got killed by a cop, whether it was by accident or not by accident. And I hope nobody comes up to you and says, well, that officer was just doing his job. Because until it happens to you, and that's another thing we have to realize, we're not, like, very humble at all. If it doesn't happen to you or me, it's out of sight, out of mind. We don't think about it, you know? So all these black people, white people getting killed, well, it didn't happen to me, so I don't have a problem with cops. So I'm going to tell police officers, thank you for doing such a great job. And it's like, where's the humanity? Like, come on, man.
You know, and it's not just as bad as the killing is, you know, of unarmed American civilians being killed. It's not just that. It's like, just look at the amount of money they extort from us too.
This whole thing.
Like, that's what it, you know. It's
Look,
ridiculous. They want to fill the prisons up with people. Yeah.
Look, the bottom line is the whole thing needs to be overhauled. All right? We have to start bringing accountability. These tickets for, you know, the most minute thing, you know, jaywalking. Oh, you're going to get, you know, dealt with. The law's coming to you. I mean, first off, we have way too many laws on the books. If it doesn't harm another human being or it doesn't harm another human being's property, the cops shouldn't really be fucking with you. Yeah. If anything, you know, if people see that you're causing an issue in public, like you're driving super fast around other drivers, you know, I don't really see a problem, especially if it was a privately owned road for a private corporation police officer to pull you over and say, hey, you know, you have to slow down. This privately owned road says if you're going to use it, you got to be at this speed. But when we start charging people $150, $200, $300, $400, whatever, because they're not doing anything really technically wrong, you know, this is a fine line, man. And we have to really look at this and stop saying things like, well, I support the police. And it goes the same way with I support the troops. You're just blindly supporting these people without looking at what's really going on. And you're just a fucking parrot. We got to go. So last words, Ed. What do you got?
Well, I had this joke that I found real quick.
Preach it, brother.
Just to give an idea of so a policeman is on his horse and he sees a little girl riding her bike. So the policeman asks the little girl, he says, "Excuse me, little girl, did Santa get you that bike?" The little girl replies, "Yes." So the police officer said, well, next time tell Santa to put a reflector light on it. And he fines the little girl $5 for not having a reflector light. So the little girl looks at the police officer and says, nice horse. She's like, did Santa bring you that? So the police officer, played along and replied, he chuckles and replies, well, he sure did. Little girl says, oh, good. Well, next year tell Santa the fucking dick goes under the horse, not on top of it. Because that's all you guys are for extorting your people.
Brutalizing.
For nonviolent crimes. Your average person commits a little less than 4 crimes a day without even knowing it. So it's a no-win situation for a civilian. And for you to decide to choose a profession to strong-arm people for nonviolent crimes, to make the state money, to fuck with people's lives, to make the state money, morally, you're messed up.
Right.
And don't sit there and say it's for your freedom or for your own good. No. Not
you
with
choose.
That.
You choose your own good.
Yeah, exactly. Join the become a peacekeeper.
Right.
Look for different ways. You could go around and morally help people without extorting them, without taking a profession like that.
Without killing them?
Yeah, without killing them.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with us. If you have any topics that you like discussed, if you want to talk about the GOP debate, any other debates, police accountability, public roads, private corporations, economics, anything of those topics. Hang on, Ed, you're on mute. You're still on mute. You're still on mute. Hang on. Go on.
I said, thank you for letting me bring this topic up.
No problem, man. It's a very important topic, and the sad part is this topic's going to be brought up again and again and again because it has to be spoken about until people realize that just blindly following, what the state, what the police, what the military is saying is a recipe for destruction.
Yeah, sorry we didn't get into the Oath Keepers and how the media is playing into that, and
we have plenty more episodes to come.
Yeah, we will get into that.
If you guys want to contact us, you can contact us at thefightforfreedomtoday@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. You can join the Facebook group. It's not that that popular yet, but we're getting there. YouTube views are going up steadily, which I like, and I'm also on Skype. We're still working on the whole Skype thing. We're actually thinking about bringing in, once we go live, we're thinking about bringing in a phone line because I found out it's like dirt cheap. It's like
we need some makeup artists.
Yeah, we definitely need makeup artists. Anyway, guys, hope you guys have a good weekend. We're going to go camping and have a great time by the lake. Enjoy.